can either call up Coach starting strong safety, and Jarvis Bird will be the utility safety that they use, so they want to go with the three safety look. But of course, again, you can play any of those guys in coverage and pretty much, have a winning matchup.
Yeah, I mean, and it's Dennis Allen has really found his gel and his stride this past month. I mean, the defense hasn't given up over 30 points since, week 3, week 4? I mean, the past month they're averaging right around 3 yards a carry. Quarterbacks are throwing like 56%. They're doing very well. The only thing that I would say that they need to improve on, 2 things, that would be the third downs and turnovers. We got to get these guys, forcing some turnovers. But that'll come. I mean, you're not going to find a lot of young teams who are just, they've got the intuition and the ability to just punch balls out and things like that. That comes with time and learning. Peanut Tillman did not invent the peanut punch his first day on an NFL field. So hopefully we can progress, continue to improve. And next year, I've been saying it all year, guys, to everybody who's been listening to Who Dat Confessional. Next year, I'm so confident in what we can become. And a lot of that is because of the progression of the defense. The offense, it's so hit or miss right now. But, man, defense, it's there.
The only problem that I have with the defense, and at one point I truly believe the Saints had a stud at every level. I don't believe that anymore. I believe the Saints are still a defensive end opposite Cam Jordan away from being, having from a good defensive line to a great defensive line. I think they're another cornerback away, which is a position of need, a huge position of need, and they also need cornerback depth. But I think they're starting cornerback away from having a great secondary. So when it comes to the linebackers, I have no idea what we have. I know Janelle Ellaby is really good when he plays. That's hit or miss because, most of the time, you can't really count on him to remain healthy. I know Craig Popperson seems to have found his niche in the middle of the defense. He's still young. He's still cheap. So you got him for a while. There's your starting middle linebacker. But you can't play nickel forever. So you still missing a strong side linebacker. And Stephon Anthony will never be that. Nate Stufar was brought in to be a special teams guy. And Mike Marty, he will never be a starting linebacker in the NFL. So the only problem with the Saints defense I'm seeing, they don't have anybody at linebacker I can legitimately say their teams are going to game plan to stop them.
Yeah. I mean, I can feel that if I had to place one particular group that I felt that we weren't elite at, it would be cornerback. And the reason I say that is I can't put anybody who has spent half a year or multiple years on IR in an elite level, no matter how good their film is, ever. Now, I'll say Robertson, I should say correctly, I'd put him at a pretty impressive level, but I don't think that he is as good as he could be because he's had to move to the middle. He's better on the outside at that will spot, and I think he showed that early in the year. I liked it. Most people liked what they saw. We just got to hope that we find somebody to fill that spot so he doesn't have to be there. But besides that, the corner to me is the big one. Now, here's why I don't want to draft corner first, and that's because a great defensive line will help mask and hide a deficiency in the secondary. Because if you can take away the quarterback's ability to throw and the time he has and putting pressure in his face, you're able to make sure it's okay to just have average corners. But the opposite is not necessarily true. You could have Chris Harris Jr. and Aqib Talib, but if they didn't have that front four for Denver and quarterbacks had 6 seconds to throw the ball, 7 seconds to throw the ball, those two guys might be the best cornerbacks according to Pro Football Focus, but no cornerback is going to lock down a receiver for 6, 7, 8 seconds. They're not. People can get open with time. You're really only able to cover even the best corners, probably I would say 3 to 4 second range. The initial part of the route where they can stick hip to hip with you, that's where they've got you. But as soon as we're breaking away and you're able to move freely wherever you want, where you're not able to know, I'm lined up across from you and I can tell you're running a post route, so I run a post route with you. As soon as it becomes schoolyard football, who knows where the ball's going or, how to keep up with you. As long as there's a good defensive line, you don't have to worry about that. So that's why I think it's the most important for us to go after a defensive end and really solidify the line to take it from that good to great level. And with the salary cap increasing as much as it is, reports being that it's going to go up to about 166 to 170 million, you're going to have some big paydays, but the Saints could end up having between 30 and 40 million dollars to spend. And man, you give Mickey Loomis a blank check like that, we might just hit on 1 out of 10 free agents.
Which was going to be my point, and I'm glad you brought it up. I don't think the Saints should go after a pass rusher in free agency. I think they should try the draft. But cornerback in free agency may be something the Saints should explore. The problem is that it takes up so much of your cap when you do so, because corners are such a premium position, as well as pass rusher. I mean, I know last season, last offseason, a lot of us were clamoring for the Saints to go after Miami defensive end Olivier Vernon. And what he's doing for the Giants right now is outright phenomenal. But the Giants have another guy that they have to pay, old three fingers himself, Jason Pierre-Paul. And, I mean, I don't know if the Saints should be in a position to take that gamble and try to pay him, but you never know what Mickey Loomis will do, because it's not, I mean, you know, a lot of people think the Saints to be a cheap team. They haven't been for a very long time. The problem is not that they're cheap. The problem is they spend money on the wrong people.
Well, we got a call. Let's see if they want to chime in. 0939, you're on Who Dat Confessional.
Hey, Deuce. Hey.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes, hey, how you doing, Deuce and Brian? What's up, guys?
As good as can be, bro.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to stay dry with all this rain coming down. But,
yeah,
so, I was just listening in, and I got to agree with the defensive end. You know, that's, you know, when I was looking at it, that's one of the number one off-season priorities, you know, through the draft, or, you know, in free agents, it's just so expensive. But, you know, I mean, it looks like they're going to get a top 10 draft pick. So, you know.
Yeah. And I've already got my eye on who I want, too.
Who's that? Who you like?
I want Derek Barnett out of Tennessee. And I actually, watching his film, and I've just started, but watching his film, here's why I love him. Everybody's on Miles, and that's fine. I'm not saying he's not freakishly athletic and a great talent, but if you go look at his stats and who he's been successful with, he's been dominating the CUSA and the Sun Belt. You don't see him getting 3 sacks against SEC teams. You know who you do see getting 2 and 3 sacks against SEC teams? Derek Barnett. That's who I want, and I think if we stick at number 8, we can pick up Derek Barnett, and I will be a very happy camper.
Rev, you have just made me a happy camper. I have been singing Derek Barnett's praises for as long as anybody can remember. I love Derek Barnett. Hopefully, he's the pick, and if he's not in the position to where the Saints can draft him, I hope they get aggressive and go get him. You don't, in my personal opinion, you don't spend money on pass rushers. You develop them. And I know we got Bill Johnson, and people don't like Bill Johnson as a defensive coach. Sometimes Bill Jackson couldn't screw up Michael Jordan. Let's just put it that way. I don't think Bill Johnson can screw up Derek Barnett. He's that good, and he's a difference maker. I mean, if you look at what Joey Bosa is doing right now for San Diego, and the thing that this guy missed time, that's what Derek Barnett can do for the Saints.
Yeah. And Patrick, I don't know if you've gotten to, because I know you do, you're one of those few people who actually study film. You don't just have opinions. You actually back it up with knowledge. So I don't know if you've gotten to really take a look at any of that yet, but do you have an opinion on him? I mean, I like him so much because he had 2 sacks against Florida, 2 sacks against Georgia, 3 sacks against South Carolina. And to me, while those might not be the LSU Alabamas, I'm biased. I still think the SEC is arguably the best division in college football. So for you to put up those type of numbers against those opponents compared to, and I'm going to throw this out there, like I said, I'm not down in the guy, but Myles Garrett this year has got sack number totals, but he had 4.5 sacks against Texas San Antonio. That doesn't impress me. That does nothing for me.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't dug into it. I usually wait till after the season's over. I might start getting into the film of the college now because, you know, the season's basically over. But I still got to do like you do. You got to do the film review for the Saints, and it's taking so much time. But no, but I'm definitely gonna check them out because I know you two guys are high on them. I mean.
And that's all I'll say, because when half your sacks basically come against a team out of the CUSA, they're called the Road Runners, a real threatening name. That begins to make me back away. Now, he has had games like he had, I think, 2 sacks against Auburn and 1 against UCLA. So it's not like he's been against completely no names, but like Arkansas, no sacks. And I think only like 3 tackles. Alabama, no sacks, very little pressure. Mississippi, no sacks, very little pressure. And then you see Barnett going against the same teams, putting up those numbers. I lean to him.
That's good. I'm definitely going to check them out.
Yeah, check them out. I've just gotten really high on them. I've only just now started because, like you, I'm still doing my film study of like the rookies and the Saints players. But let's be honest. I mean, the Saints season is over in terms of playoffs. So you might as well start looking forward now. And I'm getting excited about some of these guys.
I'll make a quick confession real quick, guys, and then we'll let Patrick have the floor because I don't want to take away any time from him and what he wants to get across. But the reason why I'm into college football pretty much, season long is because, this is who that confessional. Let me confess, I gamble on college football.
Oh, man.
There's a reason.
It's all good.
Yeah, so there's a reason for me to pay attention to college football, including games that most people wouldn't watch. And that is the reason why I can definitely sit down and say that, Derek Barnett, he is exactly what we're billing him as. It's not hype. It's not 2 guys who sat down before the show and said, let's just talk great about this guy. No, it's not that.
Yeah, we've never talked together about Barnett.
Exactly. So, I mean, this guy's a real deal. And, I don't want to take away from Patrick's time, but if you have a little time to just check him out, check him out against the bigger competition. And, I mean, the guy shows up, and even if he doesn't get the sack, he's definitely creating pressure and drawing double teams, which is outstanding if you compare that opposite Cam Jordan.
And I only say that all that to say, Patrick, I promise I'll let you talk, is not that like I said, I got to reiterate this. I'm not downing Myles Garrett. I'm not. He is a freakish athlete. But the Saints are not going to pick at 1 or 2. And God help us if we trade up there because we'd have to give away everything. We can get a great quality, in my opinion, potential, defensive end opposite Cam Jordan for a great price. Patrick, say whatever you got to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from all reports out there, they say the Browns are, real high on them. If you're going to go up there, it's going to be a king's ransom. So, it looks like they're going to get him number 1, or, if somebody's going to go up, they're going to take all your picks. So, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, just watching the game Sunday, to be honest with you, I was a little more relaxed. I knew there was nothing on the line,
Yeah.
So, the pain wasn't too bad, just so close, but yet so far away. I guess that's what you call it season,
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because we actually were just talking about it, because you do watch film and you do your grind factor just about every week, if I remember right, for Hootout Warriors. What have you thought about Von Bell's progression over the year?
Actually, he's a work in progress, but he does make good plays. But you'll see him like that play against the Lions. On that that long pass towards the end of the game, and he didn't come up. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if it was B.W. Webb's fault or if he should have slid over, but I like him in the box. Man, the guy's a short tackler. He hits, and
Lord knows we need that, sure tacklers.
Yeah, actually, tackling this year hasn't been bad. It's been a lot better than it has been the last couple of years. It hasn't been bad. And to be honest with you, the defense, since they got healthy after the bye, have gotten healthier. They've steadily improved.
Mm-hmm.
What are they, like the 12th against the run right now? Cam Jordan, my God, that guy is just having a hell of a year.
And if it hadn't been for like that Devontae Freeman game against us, we'd probably be doing top 10 against the run. We've really improved there.
Sure, and I heard y'all talking about the money. up it and, you know, get Nick Fraley in the fold next year too, you know. Pay him. He deserves it, you know.
We've definitely talked about that